Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
So, we look at all the, white supremacist police killings of black people in this country. And there's a group of people that decided to go to the United Nations and, bring their case before them. So they said they had families tied and united to 300 civic organizations. They wrote a letter to the UN asking for international investigation into the climate of violence in the ranks of the U.S. law enforcement agencies. So they said impunity for police killings in the United States, especially those people of African descent, continues unabated despite the recent settlement of the George Floyd civil lawsuit and the guilty verdict against Derek Chauvin. So it said at the time, they couldn't really get a statement from the UN, with different media outlets, but it said police violence, they say it's not uniquely an American problem, said, but the impunity and disproportionate killing of, they say, black, brown, indigenous people at the hands of law enforcement it requires the entire international community to act. Now, they were saying that the amount of people that U.S. police kill in a few days, some countries take years to kill. You understand? This country was built on violence, is maintained through violence. Now, they said that the coalition included families of 171 casualties of deadly police violence dating back to 1992. So among them were victims who became a milestone rallying cries in the Black Lives Matter movement, such as George Floyd, Dante Wright, Michael Brown Jr., Oscar Grant, and they say about 270 human rights organizations across the globe also supported the Alliance of Families. Now, they also said that among those organizations was the ACLU Article 19, the Thurgood Marshall Civil Rights Center at Howard University School of Law. So they said a 13-page letter was sent on May the 10th to Michelle Bachelet, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And it listed the names of the 171 victims killed by law enforcement dating back to 1992 and their respective family members who supported the initiative. Now, of course, it calls for the end of the police violence. And this is the thing. This is the one thing that maybe this letter needs to talk about. There's a thing called the International Criminal Court. Many nations are in the International Criminal Court, but the United States isn't in the International Criminal Court. So you may ask yourself this question: why? Why isn't the United States part of the International Criminal Court? What makes them different that they can't be a part of that, right? Because if they're a part of the International Criminal Court, you can go to the ICC and put a case with the ICC to charge these race soldiers, since they don't want to charge them here. And if you're part of the ICC, you actually have to go to The Hague and go fight your case over there. And if you lose your case in the International Criminal Court, and you go to jail. That's just bottom line. So this system don't want to be a part of the International Criminal Court. Want to protect the race soldiers. Why don't go ask Jim Crow Joe that? Well, why don't you want to be part of the International Criminal Court? But like I said, he done so much of a 180 on a lot of people. I mean, people like this just shock how much of a 180, but that dude had all that up his sleeve the whole time. But, I think it's good, they're doing this, and I'm not saying it's going to change anything, but one thing I know about America, they don't like to be embarrassed. globally. They don't, because it gives people like China, for instance, more firepower to talk to them and say, well, shoot, what you gonna talk about human rights abuses with us? You got your people at the UN, at the Human Rights Commission, talking about how you kill black people. What are you talking about? You can't say nothing about what we do over here. And trust me, it seeds them for that, right? They hate that. And maybe they wouldn't be over there at the UN saying anything if y'all done the right thing. Maybe if you pass the anti-lynching, the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, or passing the George Floyd Policing Act, and make sure it has teeth to punish those race soldiers. You understand? Or making sure that black people's voting rights are protected, and they could pass, I think, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And the main thing about that is the redistricting, because you guys understand your local elections are very important, and whatever in each of these states, whatever political parties in power, every year they get to do the redistricting. So they strategically can redistrict things for their favor. In the voting rights bill they have now, which they call HR 1, they would have an independent federal commission that would do that so they can make it fair. As of right now, it's not fair. It's whoever is in power. That's why they stay in power, because they basically cheat. It's cheating. You know, let's call it what it is. It's cheating. It's rigging the system. But y'all keep bringing those issues to the international stage. Don't stop doing that. Malcolm X was starting to do that as well. But they need to be embarrassed. They need to be told about themselves, that they're no better than any other country out here. Oh, we the best, we the greatest, but you can't be the best and greatest and kill your citizens, because let's call it what it is. Those race soldiers work for the U.S. government, and that is Biden killing his people. Let's call it what it is. Now, if this was some other country, he'd be saying, oh, that leader killing his own people through the police. Look at what he's doing. Those people need to be liberated. This isn't right. Well, what about you? You killing your own people every day. Whether you say we're American citizens or not, we built this country. So yes, we are part of this country. We are Americans. And yes, you are killing your own people all the time. And the world needs to condemn you. And the world also needs to make sure something is done as well. But leave me a comment, let me think about the situation, with our brothers and sisters going and, fighting, and making sure the world understand about the race soldiers and what they do in this country. And understand, this wasn't always done the way things are done now. You got to understand, everybody in the world saw George Floyd's death in real time. You don't realize what kind of stain that put on America. That's why you got to keep pressing internationally. We can't just focus on here. I told y'all that all the time. You got to be international in what you're doing, because these people really care about their image more than what you think.
Welcome to Marion, Ghana, where kente cloths is what we do, where African weddings and events are our specialty, where African tradition where it's perfected, where beautiful culture resides, where marrying is honorable. mgkente.com, where competitors can't compete in quality or prices. Shop now, mgkente.com.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.